Love technology. Okay, right. Welcome and hello. Merry full moon, Marius, Holi, and upcoming spring equinox. And so it's a beautiful time to have this session and talk. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, Dr. Aparna, for being here. So I feel really honored to have Dr. Aparna with us today. She was one of my first teachers on my Ayurveda path here in New York City when she used to live here. And so she is such an amazing, loving, and passionate torchbearer of the ancient wisdoms. So I was always feeling blessed. You know, as a student, like on any journey, it's always like, oh God, what do I do with these wisdoms? You need somebody, you need a guide to make sense of a lot of it and make it more practical in your own life, right? In different ways. Otherwise, it can cause a lot of confusion because the ancient wisdoms are so multi-layered, so practical, but needs a lot of help in decoding. So I feel really blessed to introduce Dr. Aparna here today. And she's been practicing as an Ayurvedic doctor for over 25 years now. And she's been teaching for also a long time, throughout online in where she's based in Florida right now, and also in various Ayurvedic programs and colleges throughout the US. She is currently the president of the Ayurvedic Association of Florida and also a founding member of a new Ayurvedic professional organization called American Ayurveda American Ayurveda Association of Professionals. Did I get that right, Dr. Aparna?
Yes, that is American Association of Ayurvedic Professionals, AAAP, and the website is AAAP-USA.com, so you guys can get more information about the mission and the vision on the site.
Great. Well, thank you. So before, I don't know, like there's so much things to say about Dr. Aparna, but let's dive into our content. For today, which, one of the reasons we're having this topic today is your social media feeds and everywhere is probably inundated with all sorts of spring cleanses right now. So I really thought it would be an important topic to share to get for a deeper understanding why, especially in Ayurvedic cleanses, home cleanses, but also in Panchakarma, a deeper detox process that needs to be very finely supervised. All of them do, would be a good time to talk about it right now. So and also I forgot to introduce myself, sorry. I'm Shweta, I am an Ayurvedic practitioner at gutsierliving.com, based here in New York City. And Nakul is also here, who's also the co-creator of Ghee as well. And I support these Ghee's knowledge circles. Okay, so Dr. Aparna, if you want to share your screen.
So namaste, welcome everyone. And today, as Shweta mentioned, we will be talking about ghee, the great ghee, Ghee, and all the wonderful things that the ancient wisdom has taught about how to make ghee, how to use it, what are the qualities and what are the medicinal uses, what are the food uses of ghee. So we'll talk all about that. And then if you have any questions, you can always raise your hand as we go, or you can ask me in the end, whatever you guys prefer. That's fine with me. So let's start with small Dhanvantari prayer. Dhanvantari is the god of Ayurveda who gave us all this knowledge and wisdom. That's how all the human beings got the knowledge of life, about the science of life, how to make the best use of everything in nature, and how to be a part of this, as a microcosm of this universe, how to make it to the fullest. So let's close our eyes, fold our hands, and if you know the mantra, you can sing it along with me, but if you don't, just listen. So this is a prayer for Dhanvantari, god of Ayurveda. Om Namami Dhanvantarididevam Characharam Vanditapadpadmam Loke Jararuk Bhayamrutyunasham Dataraniisham Vividhaushadhinam. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay, slowly open your eyes. Thank you. So I have put together a few slides so you can, go along with what I'm talking. Also, I'm not sure how many of you really know about Ayurveda or the basic concepts of Ayurveda. So as I am introducing these concepts of ghee and the benefits of cleansing using ghee, I'm also going to introduce some of these concepts in Ayurveda. So let me share my slides. Okay, so let's. So ghee is a substance that I'm sure most of you listening to the talk must have at least used it sometimes or known about it. If you are completely new to what this product is, as Shweta mentioned, it is made out of cow milk, and in Ayurveda and Sanskrit it is called Ghruta. So all the Sanskrit verses will refer ghee as Ghruta. Ghee is an English word, so we'll use ghee, but in the ancient texts or whenever you find medicines made out of ghee, they will be called as Ghruta. So Ghruta is ghee, and we'll talk about why is the slides not being shared? Let me go back and okay, anyways, I'll just do this way. Looks like something is not working out. Okay, so let's, can you all see? I mean, I wish there was a better way.
Yes.
Yes, doctor.
So the how long ago did we invent ghee, or did we come to know about ghee? As you know, cow milk is substance, right? You cannot keep the cow milk just at normal room temperature for days or months. But when you transform the same cow milk into ghee, you can keep it for hundreds of years, literally. So how human beings came into this this knowledge was like they started seeing the benefits of the cow milk, and then they started herding the cows, and you can see all these references. The cows and the bulls were used, domesticated and used as very very friendly, very docile animals that you could put to work. So human beings, once they started, it's a part of our civilization, the most ancient civilization that we can date back to. We can see the all these excavations show pictures and show all these the references that cows and the bulls were used by humans on a day-to-day basis. They started gathering the milk, and the milk was perishable, so they started looking at different transformations of milk. So a very authentic way, all the way in the Vedic culture, thousands of years ago, we can see the authentic way of transforming the milk of cow into ghee. Ghee is the last stage of conversion. So and it's all natural, so we are not adding anything. It is not, we are not adding any preservatives, we are not adding any substances to give a shelf life to this product. What we are doing is we are taking the cow milk, and on its own, because it contains so many lactobacilli and others, proteins and fat and even vitamins, it contains so much of richness, nutrition wise, that we do want to use it, and we want to preserve all the goodness. And that's how this transformation of ghee in the most natural way came into light. So people started using it automatically. With heat, it curdles and it becomes curds or yogurt. As we know, it kind of congeals. The fat and the protein part starts congealing into a thicker, heavier substance. When that, and that happens naturally, as any of you, if you have tried to make ghee all the way from cow milk completely at home, you could have done this whole process that I'm just trying to explain. Then once this curd or yogurt that is naturally formed, we can use either like a blender, or in ancient times they had an instrument with like a egg beater, something like a egg beater, but made of either metal or wood, and then they would churn it. So it was called the churning of of this yogurt. They would add water a little bit to make it more smooth and easy to churn. And once you churn, all the fat lifts up. The fat gets lifted up and it starts floating, and that is called butter. When the butter is taken off or skimmed off from the surface, and it is melted just at a low temperature, not letting it burn, but letting it melt and cook for a certain amount of time, till you can only have oil. All the water part is evaporated from it. So what a lot of people do right now is just buy unsalted butter, melt it, and make ghee. But this whole process behind it, unless that is done, you cannot really get this authentic version of the ghee. And I think this is what Maha Ghee is trying to introduce or reintroduce and promote, that even on a large scale, if it is done with a proper authentic method, you will see much more benefits as suggested in ancient texts of Ayurveda. So this whole elaborate process, you can't do in your day-to-day life because first of all the milk that we buy here in the grocery store is homogenized and ultra pasteurized. So unless you live somewhere closer to a farmland where they are naturally, breeding cows, like it's like a cattle farm with cows grazing on the grass and all that good thing, then you can probably go through this whole thing and make it for your own family. You don't have to make it on a very large scale. So it's very doable, but you need to have the right kind of milk. But instead of all that, I know everybody has busy lives, so you can get Maha Ghee, you can get all this authentic, real purity packed in a bottle. So most of the times we also insist that if you buy anything ready-made, try to buy things that are in glass jars or glass bottles, or even if you buy it, make sure you store it once you buy it in a glass container or a glass jar, so that we can preserve it for a very long time. Now, the authentic cows to give you the best quality of milk are called the Ghee cows, or nowadays it's very popular, A2 milk. So most of you must have heard about A2 cows and A2 cow milk. So this is kind of catching up, and they are the original cows or original cattle breed known to mankind. After that, a lot of mixing of or even genetic engineering and a lot of hybridization in animal farming happened, and now we have very the animals that don't even look like cows anymore. So the real cow with a hump on the back, that's the original version of the cow. But now you have so many hybrid varieties, they'll give you ton of milk for all the dairy industry to flourish, but they may not have the quality. And that is why you see so many people complaining about being vegan, because they have lactose intolerance, they have intolerance with all kinds of dairy products, and they just give up taking anything that is based off cow milk or any product of cow. So we don't want to deprive ourselves of this all these healthy benefits just because we cannot digest. So Ayurveda always focuses on how to optimize your God-given physical and mind, body, soul. So we have been given this gift in this life to have a physical body and a very strong, powerful mind. So how to make the most, how to make it strong, how to make it work for us, rather than okay, let's not eat this, not eat gluten, not eat dairy, not eat that, just because we cannot digest it. If there are any other reasons why you want to omit a certain substance, that is fine. But just because you're unable to digest it, we will have a solution for you. So let's see. Ayurveda and ghee. So what does Ayurveda talk about ghee? First of all, Ayurveda understands that this is the science of life, right? So it is not just talking about human beings. Ayurveda talks about plants, about animals, about our environment, about everything around us. So basically the main concept of Ayurveda is to understand all the basic composition of this universe. It is made up of 5 elements. So every substance in the universe will have some quality. Our body, at a cellular level, is also made up of the same raw material that every other substance is made up of. So we call it as dravya. Dravya means any substance or any matter in this entire universe. So whether you take milk or any plant or herb or water or soil, earth, anything, it will be made up of 5 elements. And understanding all these elements and how they can relate to human beings, it is called Dravya Guna Shastra. That means understanding substances, understanding their qualities or properties, and the science behind their use. So it's a very, very elaborate science. And in that science, they have described that there are grossly, you can divide every substance in the universe into 2 categories. One is Ahara Dravya. So Ahara Dravya means any substance that is edible, anything that you can eat and grow and live. So we, after many trials and errors, I'm sure, in the ancient, thousands of years, as we evolve as human species, we know what is an edible substance, what is something that can help us grow and thrive and not kill us, something that is poisonous, we avoid, something that is not edible, we never try it or taste it. And we have been trained, we have been taught from generation to generation that this is what is food And then we started growing, cultivating, and having our whole agricultural and farming industry based on that this is ahara, this is the food for human beings, and we can grow and thrive on it, and we can stay healthy with that. So ahara dravyas are the food category of substances. And then there is aushadhi dravya. Aushadhi dravya means medicinal, can be used as medicine, but some aushadhi dravyas cannot be used as food necessarily. They are only as medicine. So whenever you are sick, whenever you have any now luckily there are some substances which we can use every day of this kind of special category. You can eat it every day as food, and whenever we are sick we can also use it as a medicine. So some substances are having these kind of magical powers. That is why we call it magical powers, because they can be everyday used as food, and at times when we need them for health, for healing, for eliminating any diseases and imbalances, we can also use them as aushadhi dravya or medicinal substances. Now there is this Sanskrit shloka which tells us what are the qualities of ghee. So Ghruta Pitta Nilaharan Rasa Shukra Ojasa Hitam Nirvapanam Rudukaram Swaravarna Prasadanam. This is the Sanskrit, but a little not word to word translation, but overview. What it says is Vata, Pitta, Kapha. These are the three doshas, or the three the body energies that help to maintain a good physiological integrity within our body system. So every day, whatever food we digest, we process, everything that we do as activity, we walk, we talk, we learn, and everything that we eliminate as waste products. So to keep all that going on smoothly in a balanced way, these Vata, Pitta, Kapha, these are called three energies or three doshas, to keep them in a balanced state, to pacify them. If they go out of balance, to automatically keep them in an optimal level. That's what the ghee can do. Then it also influences or enhances the rasa and shukra. So there are different tissues in the body. The most primary tissue, which we call as the plasma. So when somebody is sick, immediately there is an intravenous some kind of intravenous drip of glucose and saline is put. So that, where does that go? That goes to the rasa dhatu. Rasa dhatu is our primary tissue, which is everywhere in the body. So what ghee can do is actually it can bypass all barriers, directly go to this rasa dhatu, just like a intravenous saline will do. Ghee can actually do that. Of course, we are not going to put that through our intravenous. It can go through our mouth. Orally we will intake it, but it can trespass all other barriers and quickly go into the rasa dhatu. It can also quickly go to the shukra dhatu. Shukra dhatu is the tissue that helps for reproduction and regeneration of tissues. So any quick healing we want, any kind of healing or regeneration of our ovum and sperm. So it actually helps in enhancing the qualities of these particular tissues, and it also helps to build up ojas. So ojas means immunity. Our body has its natural defense mechanisms, right? They are in the plasma, they are in our blood system, and more in these post-COVID times, we are getting much and more aware about why our immunity is so important. Because you must have seen all the discussion about how different traditional systems can help in making yourself more stronger, more healthier, by building up the ojas, by building up your own immune system. And ghee is one of the most important ingredient in building up your natural inherent immune system. So if you have a very strong immune system, no matter whatever thing or pathogen or virus that can be very strong, your body will have its own defense mechanism to combat it. We can always take vaccines. We can always, even acquire immunity by falling sick once in a while. But if you already have a very strong immunity without you noticing any symptoms, many people also said that, right? You might have heard from some people who had good, strong immunity that they were COVID positive, but they were symptom free. Like they might have had it but never knew about it because the body took care of it in the background. So if you want that kind of a body, you need to live within the what Ayurveda talks about, to live with nature, to understand all the doshas, the vata, pitta, kapha, how to continue to make to keep a balance within these energies. And ghee is one of the ingredients that really helps in achieving that. So,
thank you, Dr. Aparna. I think that's such an important point that you're making, that, we, in our ongoing COVID kind of variant world, there is a lot of subtle and also in your face fears that people are feeling like, oh God, I'm COVID positive, I get messages but I'm like, it's okay, because at the end of the day, the key question is, are you getting sick repeatedly or not? And if you are constantly getting sick regularly, then that's what you need to be then concerned about. But if you're not, that means you have really good immunity, and your natural intelligence, your natural cellular intelligence, everything above your mind is taking care of everything, right? So, yeah, I mean, do people have any clarifications or questions around this? Because I do feel this is really an important point to understand, that Ayurveda offers us, is the importance of ojas. And feel free to unmute yourself if you do want to make a comment or have a question. Do not hold back.
This is improve your ojas and build up your immunity can be a separate, complete other talk.
Right.
But in reference to ghee, ghee is one of the most important ingredients recommended in Ayurveda for building ojas. And as Shweta mentioned, there are many people who actually, are scared. They have other issues which are metabolic in nature, which we call also in medicine, we call it comorbidities, hypertension, stress, cholesterol, obesity, heart disease, kidney disease, all those things also can deplete your immunity. But if you start following the guidelines of Ayurveda and understanding what it takes to maintain a balance, how to enhance your immune system, how to keep all your basic vital tissues in a good optimal condition, then that is what Ayurveda focuses really on, maintenance of health. And if you are sick, we have really the best pharmacy in on the earth, because everything can grow. Whatever is native to you can be really the best option to you. So we don't even need to import things from here and there. You can do it where you live. I have given some talks about local Florida, herbs and plants that you can grow in your backyard, and pretty much that can be your pharmacy, your own pharmacy. So anyway, let's not digress unless anybody has questions. So ghee is called Mahasneha. Maha means the great and Sneha means lubricant. So as we know, to run any machinery smoothly and to get the most mileage out of anything, we need to keep it lubricated. And body, as you know, it's like a machine. We have so many moving parts in the body, right? We have the joints, and joint spaces are filled with synovial fluid. We have all our locomotion, or even as I'm talking or I'm making any movements, my eye movement, everywhere the body needs to be lubricated. Even when you are talking a lot, you want to kind of feel dry, and you quench your thirst with some water. But if we are putting some lubricant in the body, you want to put the right lubricant or a right kind of fat. So nowadays you see a lot of people are shying away, or they feel fat as a threat, right? Because they have gained weight, there's obesity, there's very high incidence of cholesterol in the society. There's a lot of fear about, having heart issues because of saturated fat. All that we have to start educating people about fat. So fat is an essential body tissue. So you cannot live fat free. It's not going to happen. To be alive, you need fat. Now, just to have a completely raw food diet, or like completely fat free diet, or like any kind of mono diet where you pick and choose one single item and just try to survive on it, all that is a very big no-no in Ayurveda. In Ayurveda, we always want to help people understand that you have to live in balance and harmony with the nature. You can temporarily omit certain substances, but to give away something for lifelong is not at all a good idea, and especially with fat. So anybody that is thinking of or is doing a completely fat free, never to use any fat, do give that up right away. So you cannot live fat free, but what you can do is choose the right fat, because right fat will help to maintain and enhance your fat tissue in the body. Fat tissue is not just for keeping everything lubricated and to run smoothly, but fat is an important ingredient to keep your immune system, your hormonal system, your whole endocrine system. The base of that is in fat. So if you're thinking of having a fat-free diet and having your obesity go away one day, your thyroid being like normal someday, or having children someday with a fat-free diet, that's not going to happen. To keep your all your tissues and all your systems functional, fat is an essential tissue. So we have to have the right quality and quantity. So we cannot overdo, we cannot underdo. Both of those are something we need to avoid. We need to understand the whole theory and science behind it. So what is called the best fat or best sneha dravya in Ayurveda? It is the ghee. So in a modern world, a lot of people like to eat cheese. They like to eat fried food or fast food. They like to eat chips and all kinds of products with saturated fat. All those things can be very congestive. They can be very hard to digest and process, and they will not deliver anything to the fat tissue in the body. They will just clog up your pores. They will just lie idle here and there in the body, making deposits of saturated fat, which we call cholesterol. It will block your arteries, it will block your nerves, it will block your blood vessels, and all other small pathways in the body. So once all these are blocked, obviously you will start gaining weight. People will have heart disease, they will have congestive disorders, they will have high cholesterol. Lot of things will go wrong. Even sometimes the fat can get calcified and make stones. You know about gallstones, you know about so many other varieties of deposits in several tissues of the body. So all that is nothing but different chemicals and saturated fat coming together, making some kind of deposits. And that is where people go wrong. They don't understand what type of fat to eat, how much to eat, when to eat, and everything that we eat needs to get digested. This is an important principle of Ayurveda, that whatever you eat needs to transform. So body is like a living machine. You put in something, it needs to digest, it needs to metabolize. Whatever is good and valuable and important for us, it keeps, the body will keep it. Everything gets discarded. So we have bowel movement every day, we urinate every day, we sweat, we have all orifices like our nostrils, our ear wax, they keep on like throwing out something that is, we call as post-metabolic waste products. So all this waste product have to be routinely thrown away. Some things happen every minute, like we breathe in and we exhale out. This is happening with every exhale. We are throwing away all the gaseous waste. Some things happen more periodically, like once in 24 hours, we go to the toilet, right, for defecating. Some things happen only when we are physically very active, then we start sweating and we start cleansing the skin pores. So all these things are supposed to be processed. Whatever is good is retained and things are thrown out. Similarly, even through our skin, there's a sebum secretion. There's actually a layer of fat, the subcutaneous fat, that it layers this, it helps to maintain our body temperature so that we are not feeling too hot or too cold all the time. We need to maintain a certain range of body temperature, and if we don't have that, then we have fever, or we have, you know, pins and needles, we get cold and numb. So to keep that good healthy temperature, fat is important, and that's why we have underneath our skin, we have a whole layer of fat. So fat is not our enemy. Fat is not something to be avoided. We just need to have the knowledge of what fat is good for us and what fat we should be using every day and how to use it. So ghee is one of the mahasneha, or the best fat that has to be used. So in Ayurveda, they have mentioned 4 types of fat for human consumption. One is, the best one is obviously the cow ghee, which is called gruta. Taila means the sesame oil. So now we make oil with everything. We have oil from rice bran and corn and all kinds of nuts and olive and everything. So we have oils made from various substances, or even milk for that matter, made from various substances. But ideal, when we say milk, it has to be cow milk. When we say taila, that means it is always a sesame oil. Tilodbhavam tailam. So the word taila came from tila. Tila means sesame. So the sesame oil is the best variety of oil. We can use peanut oil and, you know, other oils too. Canola oil is that, mustard oil, but the best oil is sesame oil. Then vasa, the muscle fat. So if you are non-vegetarians, and you must have experienced that when you start cooking you know, chicken breast or chicken thigh pieces, you see some release of oily substance, and that is the vasa, or the fat within the fascia of the muscle. So different muscle fibers, there's this vasa, or the muscle fat, and then there is majja, or the marrow. Marrow is also very fatty substance. So if you make like a bone stew, or if you have you know, goat bones, there's a marrow in there that people actually use it when they have when they want to gain weight, or when they have any kind of neurological deficiencies. So it kind of helps to lubricate the body. But as Ayurveda explains, out of these 4, all are edible, all are useful, all are supposed to be consumed, but ghee is the best. So the medicinal properties of ghee. So I explained a few of them already. Vata pitta prakrutayoho, Vata pitta vikarana. So even when you have a pitta vata prakruti, so naturally, if you are inclined to be very active, very have more heat compared to other people, so you react to you know, summer, like you have intolerance towards heat, or you have a tendency to have acid reflux, headaches, migraines. So all these people who have prakriti of pitta or prakriti of vata. Vata means people are very active, they are generally anxious, they are quick, they are physically more thinner or leaner side. So all these people having a prakriti, or a body constitution like that, or people having a vikara. Vikara means imbalance of pitta or vata. So when people have imbalance with excessive heat, so excessive heat in the body will create thirst, dryness, it will create skin conditions, hemorrhoids, liver problems, digestion problems, it can create eye issues, you know, any kind of vision problems, redness, burning, or if vata imbalance, like dryness, insomnia, constipation, any aches and pains in the joints. all these people in the vikara or imbalanced state, you can use ghee. Then chakshukama kshatashinam, that means anybody who has eye issues or anybody who is very depleted energy wise. Kshina means who is also recovering from any terminal or major illness. That person definitely needs ghee to replenish all the lost tissues and all to lost immunity, and to regain back his strength and balance. The ghee will be very useful. Vruddha Bala means any old people. So there is no age barrier. As old as you are, actually ghee becomes more and more important ingredient in your platter. Same thing for little babies. So the more ghee is there in the mother's diet while breastfeeding, it will be more and more healthy tissues for the child in the growing years. Then so it helps also for health and longevity. So if you want to live a healthy life and a better quality of a lifespan, it can ghee will be important. Then it also helps for a good aura and a glow. So if you want a healthy skin, more younger skin, more prolonged aging effect from the skin, prolonged in the sense after a longer time, if you want to have premature aging. So people start having wrinkles, dark circle under the eyes, or in their 20s and 30s because of stress, they start losing hair, they have graying of hair. All those things can be eliminated if you're using ghee regularly in your diet. Then it also gives a good glow to the complexion, because it is ojas building. Ojas is not just your body's immunity to fight against diseases, but is also a inherent quality to give you that glow or aura. So every person who you interact with, sometimes we look at the person and we just feel so pleasant, right? We just feel like, oh, that's such a, not just beauty wise, but just as a vibration, just as an aura, that this person is so good or so nice or so, whatever adjective you want to use. So it's not about the beauty at the skin level, but it is also about the aura. So ghee is also called very sattvic. Sattvic means to enhance sattva qualities. So sattva is a quality of the mind. We have a mental qualities, sattva, rajas and tamas. So the sattva quality is enhanced by the ghee. So it makes the person, even in the nature, so the nature of the person becomes very loving, very caring, very forgiving, very passionate, very loyal, compassionate. So all these good things, honest and eager to learn, to have some satisfaction. So all those good qualities of the mind and the emotions are enhanced with the use of ghee. So ghee is also ojas vardhak and also sattvic. So it helps in all these aspects, as you can see. I think I've then on the next slide in English. So if you guys want to that. So for everybody who wants to enhance these wonderful qualities as a human being, you can use ghee on a daily basis. So longevity, to get strength, and also not just for that, but when we are sick, or to heal your injuries, any even emotional injuries, right? If you have sattva quality, then you can even emotionally heal. So not just at a physical level of wound healing or improving your skin and complexion, but also for just taking your spiritual aspect to a different dimension. Also in ancient times, we find a lot of anecdotes about how the injuries, the burn injuries, or the injuries of inflicted by any weapons or any kind of natural calamities, how they were healed by ghee. And also for any poisonous substances, whether it is snake bite or what we have today's world. I have used it on many people with what is that tick disease, Lyme disease. Poison ivy, Lyme disease, we can easily use just plain simple ghee and help to heal. You don't need any prednisone or any kind of other inhibitors to handle those kind of things that happen. So one quick story about how the ghee can help in long-term injuries or even for healing fractures. So in ancient times in Sushruta, we have some stories that people used to break bones. There used to be wars and all kinds of diseases. So two broken ends of the bones, literally plastered with ghee and tied up with different herbs and barks of trees, and then after like 6 weeks, 8 weeks, it would join as if nothing ever happened, just ghee. So there are some anecdotes and stories in the ancient texts which say that. So today's world, we are not making that attempt, but it is something that needs to be researched, and I'm sure internally we do recommend if somebody has osteoporosis or they are having a delayed fracture healing, we do give them ghee and some other substances that are highly recommended in Ayurveda for this purpose. Okay, so let's talk about the cleansing quality of ghee. So as Shweta mentioned, this is the right time. We have the equinox, we have the springtime coming up, and we all want to cleanse our bodies. We want to clean our homes. So start from your external atmosphere. You want to clean your yard, you want to clean your home, clean your closets, make sure you clean your refrigerator, throw away everything that you haven't used. Basically, try not to store stuff in the refrigerators at all, as minimal as you can. So practically, whatever is possible to buy fresh, buy local, don't cook for any more than just that time, as much as you can. So I always insist on all these things, so your refrigerators are clean, but if they're not, then throw away everything that is stashed and in the back of the fridge. Same thing with your closets. Do throw away everything that is not of use to you anymore. So this actually starts our mindset. So it's not just about living in a clean house, it's about starting a mindset. For many people who have weight issues, we always tell them that look around. If you have a tendency of holding on to everything, so externally and internally, so everything happens outside and inside, and we always have that kind of we need to maintain that balance. Whatever we are outside, it has to happen inside also. So in outside, if you're keeping everything clean, even inside has to be cleansed. So naturally the body is cleaning, but we have to aid it. We have to enhance that cleansing every seasonal change. That is the time when Ayurveda has recommended Panchakarma. Panchakarma means cleansing the cleansing our five senses, cleansing with 5 different techniques. So we have Vamana technique, Virechana technique, then Basti, which is medicated enemas. That's one of the Panchakarmas. Then Rakta Mokshana, where we do bloodletting, or practically you can just go and donate blood. So it will help the body to kickstart production of new blood cells in the marrow. Then we also use nasal pathway to put a lot of cleansing substances to our sinuses, to our head and brain and nervous system. So we have different methods explained in Ayurveda to use these natural outlets of the body, outlets and inlets of the body, to use for cleansing the body. So everyday things are happening, but then whenever the weather is changing, from fall to winter, winter to spring, spring to summer, every seasonal change will make a shift in the body's inner atmosphere. Just like outside the body, the atmosphere is changing. Inside the body also, the atmosphere is changing. To resonate with that change, we need to do a little cleansing. So in cleansing, it's again a big procedure. You need to prepare for it. So There are places, there are Panchakarma centers where you can actually go, you can go and stay there so that everything is taken care of, and you just do this as a treatment. So that is something, it's done in 3 stages. You can do a preparatory phase, you can do the actual Panchakarma treatments and remedies, massages, steam, all that will be enhancing those cleansing procedures that you will be doing. And then there is a post Panchakarma phase where you kind of go slow back to your normal routine, food and lifestyle and life. So in this, Ayurveda also recommends, because it's a very elaborate process based on your constitution and based on your current body conditions, like what you need the most is what you should do. So if you don't need all the whole cleansing, but you're more like prone to skin conditions, more prone to digestive problems and liver problems, then do this and this. If you have eye issues, then just do this and this. So Ayurveda recommends a practitioner will be able to help you and assist you in what kind of cleansing in what season will be the most ideal for you. And then at home, you can do a lot of cleansing treatments where you make good, healthy food choices. Something that I always recommend for every seasonal change is you can do langhana. Most of the people can do complete fasting, like do not eat anything, only drink hot water. And if you want, you can put a teaspoonful of ghee in it. So do not eat anything, do not drink anything else other than hot water or any herb tea. Now, herb tea, when I say, it means that whatever is a good herbal combination for you, your Ayurveda practitioner can recommend you. So if you have a predominantly Vata Prakriti or a Vata imbalance, then there will be a set of herbs. If you have predominantly Pitta Prakriti or a Pitta imbalance, there will be a different set of herbs, and so for the Kapha Prakriti and Kapha imbalance. So depending upon that, you can boil some herbs in a big pot and just keep on taking that the whole day. You can do it for 24 hours. You can do it for 48 hours, as much as your physical and mental capacity is. Do not exceed like crazy for a month or so, but do it in moderation. So anything in moderation, that is your physical and mental capacity. 2 days, 3 days, no eating anything, just doing this, and that will help you to cleanse so many things. Why adding ghee is important? Because let's look at I think in the next slide. So ghee is very important for lubrication, as we saw. But why lubrication is important? Because it helps to make the pathways in the body very easy to slide or glide all the toxins. So when we talk about toxins, toxins can be in various forms, right? Toxin can be in a liquid form. Toxin can be even, we call even emotional and mental toxins. So I told you about sattvic quality ghee can enhance, because we have a lot of mental and emotional toxins also. We store unnecessary junk in the mind, hatred, jealousy, insecurity, fear, depression, anxiety. All this is coming from all the junk that is we are storing in the mind. So we need to kick that out. So to go to that, all that deep level, some kind of lubrication is essential for all these pathways to kick that out. So you may not see a physical, substance called anger or hatred, but it is there in a subtle form. And to kick that out, the pathways have to be lubricated. If they are not lubricated and you try to push things out, now think about something at home. You're trying to push something through a narrow hole, and if that hole doesn't, let's not even think about pushing something through a tube. Think about when your ring, like if you have a ring in your finger and it is not coming out or not going in, you're trying and trying and it is not going in. If you take a drop of ghee or oil, or for that matter, a lot of people use even soap, right, to make it easy to glide on. So why does it suddenly then go? A bangle or a ring can easily slide in and out if that part is lubricated Why? Because it just makes the passage easy. So that is what the ghee is going to do. It is going to make the passage easy. So while the toxins are leaving your body, you don't want to have a trauma created by those toxins also, because they're toxins, right? While they're leaving you, you don't want them to bother you. You just want them to live happily, peacefully, and get rid of them. So the ghee will create this lubrication of the pathways in a subtle aspect of mind, in the physical aspect of the body, and it will help to kick out and move those toxins from your mind and body. And it also has the capacity to go to the deepest part, to the microscopic parts where you have not even thought about that ghee can reach. So it is called Yogavahi. Yogavahi means it can actually go and access all the way to the cellular, atomic, subatomic, everything that you know from science. So all those aspects that are not even physical in nature, right? That are more in the energy field. So ghee can even energetically access all those areas and remove AAM or toxic material. AAM is an Ayurvedic word for toxic substances. It can remove all that from all levels of your being. And that is why internal oleation and external oleation or snehana. Snehana means to lubricate. So in Panchakarma, this whole elaborate process of external oleation means you actually do massage and really slather your body with oils and oily substances, and internally you're taking hot water or ginger tea and putting ghee in it and drinking it every day. So in the full-fledged Panchakarma, when you're like going to a center and just doing it as a full treatment for 1 month or 3 weeks or 6 weeks, then they give you a lot of ghee. At that time, they literally give you like a whole, a big cup of hot water, and then they put first they will start. So you have to start with small quantity because ghee is fat. It also needs to digest. So you cannot just overwhelm your body with a lot of ghee. So they'll start in incremental ratio. First day will be like say 1 tablespoon morning and evening. Next day it can be 2 tablespoons morning and evening. And so it will go up to 7 to 8 tablespoons. Some people feel very nauseous if their livers are not functioning very well, because fat and glucose is digested and metabolized by your liver. So you have to have a healthy liver to consume this amount of ghee. So always take recommendations from an Ayurveda practitioner who knows your body constitution, who knows about the imbalances. So there will be the proper recommendations coming from a practitioner, how much ghee can be ideal for you. Because I have seen a tendency in Americans or anybody the more the better. Not necessarily. Ayurveda always talks about balance and optimal quality and quantity. More is never better. Okay, even something that is good, you cannot exceed quality and quantity wise because you're creating an imbalance. Ayurveda always talks about balance, balance, balance. And that's important in today's world because we all live in a culture where everything has to be mega. So that's not what our culture or our ancient wise people have taught us, that live in balance and you will have abundance. Abundance means a never-ending supply. So if people who are worried about, are always scared and mentally and emotionally deprived, they are the ones who want to hoard things or have everything like mega. So everything good, they want it in a bigger quantity. No, everything good also needs to be in an optimal quantity. Okay, so how do we use the ghee? So ghee can be used as plain pure ghee every day with your food, right? So you can cook with ghee And this ghee is without adding anything to it. The authentic method of preparing ghee, you can make it at home or buy ready-made from proper places like Maha Ghee, where they have taken all the pains, all the labor to deliver the best product to you. And then you can also age the ghee. So aged ghee or aged honey for that matter is considered very, very medicinal. So if you buy honey, if you buy ghee and store in a cool, dark place, unopened jar, you can keep one jar aside, leave that for as long as you can. And when you have a very, very serious illness or something that you need to heal, like a skin issue or anything that you need it for a very special reason, that time you can use that aged ghee. So aging means just leaving earthen, in ancient temples in India, they have references about keeping earthen pot of ghee for hundreds of years. So in South India, there used to be a tradition in the, they call it the Gabhara, or like, a place where the deities, like nobody will be, it will it will be a very sacred and uncontaminated place, because that's where the idols are, or only the priest will go, where there's no other people coming and handling anything over there. So they'll have this special place where they will keep the ghee, and it can be kept for 40 years, 60 years, 100 years, whatever years. And then that drop of ghee can be like a lifesaver. That can be like a a treatment for somebody's cancer, or treatment for somebody's completely disfigured skin because of burns, or any other problems, to take away all the scar tissue or whatever. Then there is Shatadhauta growth. So without additives means we are not really doing anything to ghee. We are just using it as is. Shatadhauta growth also, we are not adding any substance to the ghee. What they do is they take same amount of ghee and water. So if you take like 1 cup of ghee, take 1 cup of water, pour the water into the ghee and rub it with another surface like that has a flat surface. So put it in a like a flat fry pan, stainless steel or glass, and then pour ghee, pour water, same quantity, and then with any other bowl or a ladle that has more flattened bottom, just keep on rotating it for 100 times. And then throw off the water. Water and ghee will be immiscible. So the ghee will be in the bottom, the water will can be discarded easily. And then again put fresh water, same quantity, and you can do that 100 times. So it is called Shatadhauta, literally means 100 times washed ghee. So the ghee is washed 100 times, and any impurity or any kind of ghee is actually the purest substance, but even then, if there are anything that is not necessary at that time for its use, we can discard that. And this Shatadhauta growth is one of the best version of ghee for skin wounds. So if you have any burn marks, any kind of wrinkles, or any skin related pigmentation issues, anything related to the skin, this is the skin, this is the ghee that is highly recommended. It's extremely cooling. As soon as you put it, it will be such a cooling and soothing effect on the skin. Then Suvarna growth. So when you're boiling the ghee, like when you're actually making the ghee from butter, in the last stage, you can put a nugget of pure gold, 24 karat gold, or even the ghee that you are eating. Like you can just put a piece of 24 karat pure gold nugget, or a little, coin or something, and use that ghee. So the ghee will keep on getting the qualities of gold immersed in it. Again, we are not adding anything as such. We are just putting it. In olden days, they would store the ghee in a golden pot, but we cannot do that. We don't have any gold, or even silver was used. So even in our house, while growing up, ghee was always kept in a silver container. So ghee is naturally very cooling in quality. So silver was more recommended traditionally, because silver was, of course, cheaper. Everybody could afford a silver a little container for their ghee, even middle class families. And then ghee, silver is cooling in nature, so it will enhance the quality of ghee also. So it was always stored in silver containers, but you can do that in gold if you have that ability. Then sometimes we enhance the quality of ghee by making it siddha ghrita. Siddha means to add substances to it to medically fortify the ghee. So you want the medicine to go into your body, but you want to use the ghee as the vehicle. So instead of just putting some powders into the ghee and licking them up, they have medicated ghees that are again available with Ayurvedic companies. One of the example is Triphala growth. So a lot of you may be knowing Triphala, which is a very gentle cleanser for your digestive tract. It has lots and lots of uses in for everything in the body, from blood to eyes to every tissue and every system. So Triphala growth is highly recommended for a general cleansing of the body, or it is also highly recommended in doing eye treatments. So Triphala growth or Mahatriphala growth we use for Netra Basti or eye treatments, and it helps to enhance the vision. If you want to get rid of your eyeglasses or contact lenses, you can do that. Or if you want to never have any eyeglasses or contact lenses, you can also do that right from the childhood. Just make that as a habit, your weekly routine, to do Netra Basti, or to use it like a drop or two of ghee every night at bedtime. You can use them as eye drops. Mahatikta Grit is made up of very bitter herbs, and this is very good for people with psoriasis and eczema. So this is a medicated ghee. So they actually take herbs, they boil it, boil the decoction of that herbs, make a tea, very concentrated, strong tea, then take the ghee, filter that decoction, and then add equal amount of ghee and let those two things cook together till only ghee remains. So any siddha ghrita means you're adding a herbal tea and ghee and cooking it, boiling it together, and to a point where only ghee remains. All the water part is evaporated and all the medicinal qualities are immersed into the ghee. So Brahmi growth is another common ghee, very, very useful for neurological problems, memory problems. Brahmi Ghrita is given for children with autism, for older people with memory or dementia issues, and it can be used by all of us because everybody has stress, everybody has problems with anxiety and fear, and so it can be something that will be useful or even as a part of your weekly routine. So you can rub the soles of the feet with it. You can put it on the crown part of the head. You can put it through your nostrils so it can directly reach the brain. So these are like some of the things recommended in Ayurveda for more routine uses. So depending upon what problems you have, there is Shatavari growth, very good for the pregnant and even lactating women. When they are eating their food, they can use Shatavari growth. When they are not getting pregnant or having infertility issues, they can also use that. Saffron ghee can be used as a part of even cooking, like when you're making desserts, when you are even having any special food or having any special celebration. In India, we always put ghee on the food. We also use saffron for making all the sweet dishes for celebrations. Then there is turmeric ghee, which is highly recommended for people with skin issues. Again, anybody that has complexion issues, pigmentation issues, skin problems, they can have aloe vera, turmeric, ghee, all that can be consumed even on a daily basis for 6 to 8 months, and people can see tremendous relief with that.
Dr. Aparna, great. You're getting to some of the little intake recommendations. I was just going to say, because just to be conscious of the time, because some people have to be going. So if we can stick to some of the bit of the more practical points on the cleansing, that would be great. And also, just so we can stay on point, and then we can also go into the Q&A.
Sure. So a good recommended daily intake is, with your food, you can have 1 to 2 teaspoons. Any adult can have about 2 teaspoons very safely, very easily with your food. So if you are making Indian food or not making Indian food, you can still consume that with your soups, with your oatmeal, with your on your bread, on your whenever you're cooking even pasta or any vegetables, or if you're making dals, lentils, khichdi, Indian food, then you can always use ghee instead of oil. You will also notice that small quantity of ghee is enough when you use oil compared to oil for making your seasoning. Ghee, a small quantity will be enough for that. Then seasonally, the junction of the Sharad Ritu, which is kind of the autumn season in the 6-season cycle, the junction of the Pitta season ending and the beginning of Vata season. So this is again more specific into Ayurvedic understanding of what the seasonal changes, how they interact to our body systems, and what will be a good time to do this fasting cleansing with a little bit of ghee and hot water, as I was saying before. Then with special panchakarma, dosage is recommended based on your prakriti, based on your vikruti, and based on your what is the target that you have in your health and healing. So the Ayurveda practitioner will tell you to take 5 spoons, 10 spoons, 2 spoons, whatever is that recommended dose, but it will be for a short duration. So people can literally have up to 100 ml or even 150 ml of ghee at one time, one day, for a week or so, but it will all be depending upon your digestive fire, and there will be a vehicle to carry the ghee. So ghee is fat, and as I said, it also needs to get digested. So the anupana, or the substance to carry it, to digest it optimally, is important. Hot water is the best way to deliver it. It will, on its own, it has yoga-vahi quality, so it can go penetrate very deep to all kinds of even energetic levels. And if you want to make it also more palatable, because some people think it's like drinking fat, so it can be nauseous to some people, especially when they're out of balance. So herbs that can be infused to make the ghee digest better, or to enhance our principle of Agni, or digestive fire, you can use ginger, ajwain, cinnamon, fennel, cumin, cloves, black pepper, long pepper, Himalayan salt, lemon juice. All that can be put into a tea, and you can use that tea to swallow down your ghee. Then how do you use ghee outside, not just within your body, but outside? We in our culture, or even in the ancient texts, you always see the reference of lighting a ghee lamp. So ghee lamp with a cotton wick also helps to cleanse your atmosphere. So cleaning is not only when the ghee is consumed in through your mouth or applied through your skin, but cleansing happens also in the atmosphere. We need to have a good cleansing. So lighting a ghee lamp every day, instead of lighting a candle with wax, try to use at least where you have your altar or where you meditate, instead of a candle, use this ghee lamp with a cotton wick, and that will be clearing or cleansing the atmosphere in your home. The havan is also made with ghee and cow dung cake. So every part of cow's body is very, very useful. And even the cow dung and cow urine has a special place in the holy traditions of Indian culture. And cow dung cakes, we can even get them on Amazon or any of these websites, and you can make little pieces of it And there are people who do this every day, a little havan or a little place where people do like they smudge with sage leaves. Similarly, you can have in a little corner of your house to cleanse the atmosphere, especially with airborne viruses and a lot of things we talked about in COVID times, that how to cleanse your atmosphere, because everything was getting transmitted through the air. So you can keep a clean atmosphere by burning incense, or using this kind of ghee lamp, or doing a little havan with burning the cow dung cakes with some ghee and lighting up with fire. There are also some herbs that can be used, like ajwain, to keep the atmosphere very clean, and it will take care of viruses, bacteria, mold, or any other pathogens in the house, or even mosquitoes. It can actually get rid of those. So storing ghee in earthen pots or precious metals, just keeping that in the house, that also helps to create some kind of energetic cleansing in the house. So daily uses, you can use it in the food. You can cook the food with it. You can top your food with ghee. So, people have this habit of like, oh, can I have a little Parmesan cheese on your pasta? Rather than that, we always, Indian food is always topped with ghee. So we put a little bit of ghee on our dal, on our rice, which you can try. It really tastes very good. Ghee has a very addictive taste. So if you like, whether it has almost like a popcorn, like, nutty flavor and taste, then you can use it on the face. As I said, it has anti-wrinkle, anti-aging, anti-pigmentation qualities. It enhances your complexion. So something like Shatadhauta growth can be used also on the face. Then in the eyes, you can use it for improving your eyesight. Plain ghee is fine, or Trifla growth is good. On the feet, you can use Brahmi ghee. Plain ghee is also good, especially when somebody is very tired or feeble or weak. For older people, they used to rub the ghee on the soles of the feet with a special metal bowl called kansya, which is kind of a bronze alloy, and you can use that, or just rub with your hands. Then in the nostrils, I told you to use something like Brahmi Grit. So it can help for Alzheimer's, memory, just a good relaxed sleep. Then on temples and the crown. So these are very neurologically, or very, we call them marma points, very important points, the third eye. And it helps to calm those areas and de-stress a person. It also enhances some energetic, spiritual levels in the person. So you can use that as your daily routine. Also in the umbilical pit, lot of things are happening as an imbalance in your meridians, in your chakras. So if you use a little bit of ghee just with your finger, just put it as a part of your daily routine in the bedtime. You can use ghee. I also recommend castor oil sometimes to use there. And that helps in lot of genitourinary or general issues related to everything in the abdominal and the pelvic area, pelvic organs. Then, special references you see in many aspects of Ayurveda for food purification. So anytime you want to offer the food to God, we always say our prayers before we eat the food. So before that, we put a few drops of ghee on our plate, and then we say our prayers, because it's for purifying and sanctifying the food before we make the offering to God, and of course then to ourselves. And so it's kind of invoking that Agni principle. So ignition of Agni, or the digestive and metabolic fire. So we are almost doing like a fire ceremony within our body on a daily basis with the help of ghee. Ghee is used for cleansing and lubrication, and because it also ignites every fire needs a fuel. So for our inert digestive and metabolic fire, ghee is like that fuel. Then for sattva building in the mind and body, which I already told you, it's used in very chronic wound healing, excellent results. in skin regeneration and anti-aging. Then even when you are dead, so this is all for life, but even when you're dead, it is highly recommended, or traditionally that's what it is done. Nowadays, of course, they do it with electrical, cremation. But when bodies are burnt on a pyre of natural wood, teak wood, sandalwood, whatever wood, it is always done with ghee, because that way we are cleansing everything and giving it back to the atmosphere in the most cleanest form. Our physical body is made up of 5 elements. It gets released to the 5 elements. So everything is all clean and pure, no residue remaining. So that is what the greatness of ghee is. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed. And so next time you want to take a picture, say ghee.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you for a delicious sharing, Dr. Aparna. There's so much to digest here, right? It's, I think, when we're conditioned in society to, which is also a lot about coconut oil, I think, right? In our Western wellness world, the value and the properties of ghee, it's a slow process for people to really understand the quality. So this is why we also want to do a lot of these sharings more frequently. The other thing I think that's important to note is that ghee, one of the things I love about ghee is its camouflageous nature, where it really takes on, right, the property of an herb in different ways. So it lubricates to clear the pathways. But what the beauty is, like, which teas, right, in the Western kind of wellness world, there's a lot of herbal teas, herbal decoctions in water, or maybe mixing it with honey and things, and that's a whole nother topic. But the beauty of ghee that I feel is missing in the Western world is the combination of these herbal ghees, which ghee takes on the properties, right? This union, this yoga of these herbs, and really takes it deeper into the tissues. And I think that's something that's really critical to note. Yeah. So before, yes, we have time. Eddie, do you want to unmute yourself so you can ask your question?
Yes, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Oh,
cool. Oh, great.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's Edie. It's fine. People called me Eddie, Ed, my whole life.
Yes, Edie.
I'll answer to anything. Okay, no problem. My one thing I haven't been able to find an answer to, or maybe a deeper understanding, is when somebody has, what's the relationship between somebody who has high cholesterol and ghee and the intake of that ghee? Like, does then the daily intake of that ghee should change because of that, or no?
Yes. So if somebody has very high cholesterol, like, it's uncontrolled, or it's like beyond like 400, 500, whatever number, that is really crazy number, then first and foremost thing will be how to lower the cholesterol. Ghee is not going to increase your cholesterol. Ghee is a fat that will completely get burnt into the body. But if you have a cholesterol of very high grade, that means your body is not capable of metabolizing any kind of fat at that point. So first we need to enhance the fat metabolism by giving some herbs, or following some panchakarma cleansing protocol. And during that time, Ayurveda practitioner may give you a set of medicated ghees. So medicated ghees will not be like plain ghee. It will have the qualities of medicine. So rather than just lubricating, it will help to kind of cleanse your system, to ignite your metabolic fire for fat metabolism, and then you will probably be able to enjoy the normal ghee in your food. So if you have a borderline cholesterol, not a big deal or a big issue, switch completely to ghee in your diet. Do not use any other fat. So if you're using cheese, if you're using butter, if you're using any other oils, just completely switch. This is for people with borderline cholesterol and not having any heart issues and all those other things.
Okay, so if the borderline is more between like 200 to 300, because they say you shouldn't be over 200, I think. And then, but would borderline still be if the HDL and LDL are high?
Yeah, your ratio.
But no medication. Yeah, there's no medication yet. There's just on the high side.
If your ratio is good, that means your good cholesterol is also equally good. Then you can safely take ghee, no problem. But also make sure you follow other protocols of lifestyle and exercise, because that will just help to get your body into the mode of digesting and metabolizing the fat. Because right now it is in the mode of keeping the saturated fats and storing them. So we want to have a healthy fat tissue, a healthy fat metabolism. So whatever it takes to do that, there are certain herbs that can magically help. Also some food ingredients like garlic are known to have a high, a very good effect on fat metabolism.
So when you say cut out all other fats, does that include avocados and olive oil?
Well, I would say nuts. If you're eating a lot of nuts, if you're eating a lot of other fats, in the sense other oils. So if you're having oils in your salad, you're having oil for cooking, then just switch to a small quantity of ghee. Eliminate all other fats. So avocado or in moderation should be okay. Even nuts, if they're soaked, just a small quantity. Again, you have to count them sometimes, because people don't know when they are sitting with a box of nuts in front of the TV.
Yeah.
Loads of it. So if you be mindful about all those things, and then once your body has that ability to digest fat, then you could be okay. Your cholesterol will kind of go down.
Okay, so there are herbs like mankind. That just starts a whole different conversation. Would that be correct? Not for today.
Well, Edie, I don't think it's about having a conversation. What Ayurveda is about is having a complete, thorough assessment, right? So oftentimes in our wellness world here, it's like it's about the noun, right? It's like what herb is good for this? What food is good for this? But we're all unique beings. And so Dr. Aparna is available for consultation. So Dr. Aparna, if you want to chat in your email address or how people can contact you, then this way it's for your own well-being, right? Or else you're just kind of, everyone, this is not just you. We see this all the time. We're just grabbing left and right, and people don't get results, right? Into their lives.
Exactly.
And even but worse is like people get sicker, right? Because you're taking an herb doesn't mean you're going to get healthier. It could actually harm you too. So this is why we're also emphasizing here with ghee, you have to know how to properly use it as well. So that's why in Ayurveda and any traditional medicines, you really do want to work with a practitioner, doctor to get for your unique path, right? Your unique life.
Yes. I would love the email if that's open to us.
Absolutely. So yes, Dr. Aparna will chat that in. Any other questions? Feel free to unmute yourself.
Yeah. I had a question.
Yes, go for it, Rashmi.
So thank you very much, Dr. Aparna. This was very helpful. And you're so good to give us so much information and detailed information. And yes, Shweta, you're absolutely right. It has to be based on our individual constitutions. So for example, I really like to have triphala, but in certain seasons, I stop taking triphala because I am a Pitta Vata constitution, and I really can't take the triphala. It's too drying for me. And so I started having it with just hot water and just drinking the hot water because that helps me. You know, the powder in the hot water, but not having the powder, just the hot water. So, but I believe that if I mix it with ghee, it would probably be better for me. How do I mix it with ghee? Just the powder and ghee?
Use trifla ghee and hot water. That will be one way. Or you can make a tea of trifla and add plain ghee to it. Actually, for older people, people who are having constipation and they're in their like 80s and like mid 80s or late 80s, for them you don't want to give a laxative. You don't want them to sit on the toilet straining and having any prolapse. So for those people who have milder constipation and who just want a gentle, easy cleanse, we recommend them taking a cup of hot milk with some ginger in it, and then a spoonful of liquid ghee. So when I say 1 teaspoon of ghee, if it is like a creamy version versus a melted liquid version, that makes a difference in the quantity. So if it is 1 teaspoon liquid ghee, then that will help to gently cleanse and lubricate without harming the person, and it will also help in so many other ways. So we always recommend that for kids having constipation, old people having constipation, or even adults having mild version of constipation. So that way you're not taking some herb or being dependent on it. You definitely want to focus on your lifestyle. And also I won't recommend people to take any herb. I explained in the beginning that there's ahara dravya and aushadhi dravya. Trifla falls under aushadhi dravya. That is not a food ingredient. It is a medicine ingredient. So we don't want to take it just because it is good and it has many applications. We don't want to just keep on blindly taking trifla for all our life. Okay.
No. I know that. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you for all your help. Yeah. And thank you for this talk.
Okay, so last call for any other questions before we go into a few more announcements. Okay, forever hold your breath. Don't hold your breath, you know what I mean. Okay, any other questions? Did I miss anything in the chat? If you don't feel comfortable voicing, feel free to chat it in again in the chat. Okay. Well, that's happening. Dr. Aparna, do you want to share a little bit about some of the other activities you're up to with AAAP and also with the Ayurved Association for Florida? And you can chat that in the box as well.
So I am, right now, we don't have any information on the website as of now because we're still in the formative stage. But there is a conference, a good conference on Ayurveda happening in November to celebrate the Ayurveda Day or the Dhanvantari Jayanti. That will be 4th, 5th, and 6th of November 2022 in Orlando. Well, it's not actually in Orlando. It's a little bit of a suburb of Orlando called Fruitland Park, a beautiful natural retreat sanctuary place. So you guys can come and stay there. And it's a very good conference because we are in the planning of all the events, and I'm sure it will be a great experience. Last year we had it in Fort Lauderdale, and this year we are having it closer to Orlando. And I hope within a month we should have a lot of information about that on our website. It is flayurveda.com, the Ayurveda Association of Florida website. And every year we have an annual conference to celebrate the Dhanvantari Jayanti. Usually around end of October to middle of November is when we arrange this conference.
Great.
So welcome, and we try to keep all the registration at a very, very reasonable rate so that everybody can come and enjoy the speakers, and it will be a great place to meet and greet a lot of your favorite speakers as well as your colleagues, your friends, a lot of like-minded people. So we have This year, the theme is Ayurveda and Yoga, integrating medical sciences and nature. This is in a very beautiful natural surrounding with lakes and palm trees and beautiful large oaks and fruit trees, and we all can stay in the same place. That's another great advantage. So it's not in a hotel or a very fancy place. It's a beautiful retreat place, clean, and will make it very economic for your pockets. So
hey, thank you so much. Great. And on behalf of Ghee, we have a few more announcements as well. So Nakul, if you just want to, go for it. If you want to unmute yourself.
Hi, everybody. Thanks, Aparna ji, for sharing, Shweta for facilitating. We have a few offers, and this will be emailed. We have some free shipping if you've not bought from us before, and you can use the SNEHA9 code until New Moon. There's a great gift of Ghee cookbook if you're going to sign on and buy a subscription. With the second order, it'll come to you. And we have Geeta Desai on this call. She's made some wonderful documentaries on the latest one being on Ayurveda. You could email her at yogaunveiled@hotmail.com and mention Ghee for a special discount on streaming all these three wonderful movies on Ayurveda, Yoga, and Raga that she's made painstakingly. Fantastic footage and lots of insights in these documentary films. I think she's going to share some details in the chat box about how you can reach her. And that is about it on the offers. Our next circle, as we keep this sharing of different sort of ghee, which is knowledge ghee, going, and that's going to be on cooking with ghee. And Chitra, who's written, whose recipes we have in the Great Gift of Ghee cookbook, will be leading that session. And we should be able to do a live demo also with that. It's going to happen in May or June. Please stay tuned for that. We'll let you know the date via email. That's about it. Thanks for joining us.
Great. So the other thing is, if you are interested in having Ghee as either a practitioner or a seeker of the ancient wisdoms in your state locally, definitely reach out to us at info@mahaghee.com. One of our missions is, again, to avoid people using ghee randomly. So here, if various practitioners locally in your state, neighborhood, areas, you can help guide people on how to use it. Reach out to us as well, because that's what our main mission is that, this way we also say, carbon, right? Environmental carbon issue. We don't need to be shipping. It's one of the key reasons where Ghee is not on Amazon or any kind of those type of platforms, like shelf platforms. So we really want to make it a more of a kind of community, grassroots kind of project. So if you are interested in having ghee available to your family, friends, or clients, do reach out to us. Also, for myself, I do a lot of my work under the umbrella of Gutsier Living, digesting food, thoughts, and emotions for bold, intuitive living. I have a few events coming up with one of my other teachers, is Dr. Sumit Kesarkar. It's going to be in person and online. He has an amazing, unique perspective on the ancient wisdoms. So one, we will be focusing on prana. Because oftentimes when we talk about doshas, it's Ayurveda, it's all about the doshas, but prana is equally as critical. So really kind of how do we cultivate prana, this life force energy, into our lives for daily energy, daily vitality, clarity and joy. So that'll be on March 30th. And April 3rd, we are focusing on harnessing our Shakti energies within. So looking at hormonal harmony and also understanding the subtle force of divine feminine and masculine within us. So, feel free to go to the website, gutsiyourliving.com for more details, and feel free to email me if you have any questions. So, thank you for joining today. If there are any more last questions, feel free to unmute yourself. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Dr. Aparna, for sharing again your wisdom and things. And yes, if you don't